What's going on, you guys? In this episode, I share with you a key perspective that I've adopted through the years that has had a huge, lasting impact on my life. Profound. And when you can start to see between the lines a little bit, look a little bit closer at this life, this reality, as we call it, and when you start to see what you're currently not seeing about energy, about other people, and about yourself, all of a sudden, the walls crack open, the doors fly open, and a breakthrough is right ahead. So we're going to get into all that and more in this episode, so stay tuned. I'm Adam Kadu, and it's time to master the art of real heart alignment, where you live, work, and play from your personal power as energy aligns, your gifts flow, and life simply works. These life-changing conversations are designed to help you to see what you're not seeing, hear what you're not hearing, and to be who you're not being, as the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. Are you ready to say no to living a half-hearted life and say yes instead to boldly living from a place of real heart alignment? Welcome to the Adam Kadu podcast. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of the Adam Kadu podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about a perspective that hit me right in the forehead at an event I was at years ago. And this was a profound moment. I actually was struggling with something. I'll get into the backstory a little bit, but I was struggling with something. And I read something in a book that just cracked me wide open. I actually just started crying, like bawling, crying, because I caught a glimpse of what's really transpiring in this life. And so going back, I believe it was 2018, and I just talked on another episode about Business by Design. Business by Design live events just crack me open at times. And so at this particular event, my energy was waning a bit. My mind was just kind of overtaking me. My body was feeling fatigued. I mean, these events are marathons at times. There's so much to uncover, so much great information flying at you. But I did. At my hotel room by myself, I was reading a book by Wayne Dyer. I can't remember the name of the book. That probably should have been something that I had handy for this episode. I'll think of it in a bit. I think it'll come up. But I've read a lot of his books. So Wayne Dyer is just an amazing soul. He's no longer with us on this planet, but he lives in my heart forever. He had such a huge impact on me. My very first audio book off of Audible that I purchased was called The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. And it was profound. I mean, it allowed me to see so much in my life. Back to this event. And namely, because I wasn't very intentional at the time. You know, I was reading this book and just seeing how I was being so lax in my personal power, my ability to create, and my ability to be highly intentional and to bring into my life that which I desire. And this book led me on just such a beautiful path. Anyways, reading another one of Dr. Wayne Dyer's books. And I saw in that moment, I was wrestling with this place of just inadequacy. I'm not enough. Who am I? All this stuff. You know, I was in this weakened state where my body felt weak, my mind felt weak, I was tired, probably didn't sleep well. And I was beating myself up. I mean, I was really laying it on myself thick. I'm usually pretty nice to myself. You know, obviously we have negative self-talk at times, but I do my best to stay clear of as much of that as humanly possible. But I was in it deep. I was in it thick. I was laying it on. And so in reading this book, Dr. Wayne Dyer started talking about making a hardcore case for how we're all in this together. And so if you go back, let's just say to, if we want to talk about the Big Bang, if we want to go there, no matter what or where or when or why we started on this path, there was some element of us all being together, us all being in the same place, all made of the same substance, all interconnected. You're all one. And I know that from an analytical standpoint. I've heard that, you know, and Instagram quotes and little videos, people talk about this. And I felt home with that. I felt like there was some truth there. And so in reading Dr. Wayne's book, he shared a perspective about when you are judging someone else, you are essentially judging yourself. And he went on to say, and when you are judging someone else, you're judging everyone. And I will often utilize this perspective when it comes to coaching people, especially parents, because at times they'll get into these doubts and these self-talks and, who am I to do this? And, I don't belong here. And, you might be in a mastermind group or at a, live event or whatever. And the story's playing in your mind, I don't belong here. And the question comes, is that something that you would tell your kids? Would you tell your kids they're not good enough? Would you tell your kids they don't belong here? Would you tell your kids that they're inadequate or they're not going to reach their goals or this isn't going to happen for them? The answer is no. And so knowing and being that we're all in this together, we're all from the same place, we're all cut from the same cloth. And so when you tell yourself these things about yourself that are disempowering, that make you feel weak, that make you show up weak, that cause weak results, and you're just thinking you're talking to yourself. But in casting that energy, that negative energy, if you want to call it that, onto yourself, you're not only casting that on yourself, but you are casting that on your kids, your significant other, your family, your friends, your clients, everyone in this world. And when you can read between the lines and really get a sense that we are indeed all in this together, then you're doing not only yourself, but you're doing all of us a great disservice when you see yourself in a negative light. And that's one of my gifts and weaknesses as a coach, as a human being, is I can see the absolute best in others. And not just from a standpoint of, just trying to hold that space for them or, rooting them on or, just searching and seeking for the positive aspects of them, letting go of the negative or disregarding the negative. No, I can see the best part of you from an energetic standpoint. And so at times when we're in our stuff, we're beating ourselves up, we're simply holding our intention, our intent, our awareness, our will on these stories that in any other context, if we're talking about any other person where you're casting the same shadows on them, you wouldn't do it because they're untrue. So what's causing you to choose to see yourself as so important that you're different from everybody else? To see yourself as weak or disempowered or inadequate or somebody else is already doing this, so I can't do this. Or giving all your power away to the people that you're learning from. If we are seeing ourselves in this negative, disempowered state and knowing in your heart that we are all in this together, then you're telling yourself and the universe that every single one of us is weak, disempowered, inadequate. And that breaks my heart. I started bawling in that moment because I care deeply for people. A lot of times, especially in the past, I care more for people than I do for myself. And so in seeing that, in judging myself, I'm judging all. And I'm not okay with that because that's not a life I want to live. That's not a life that I choose to live. I will not go around judging others. I will not go around casting shadows of doubt on people, on my kids, my significant other, family, friends, clients, students, podcast listeners, anyone. And most importantly, not myself. Because if I cast judgment on myself, then I'm judging you, I'm judging everyone else. And I'm not okay with that. So when you can start to see how much you are impacting the world around you when you have negative beliefs and doubts and insecurities about yourself, and hey, look, we all have them. But most of the time, they're by choice to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself stuck, to keep yourself comfortable. It doesn't have to be that way. And when you can start to see that you are playing an integral role in this world, in this universe, in this existence, in this experience, when you can start to see you're playing an integral role, then you treat yourself a little kinder. You root yourself on a little more. You let go of attachments, of expectations, and you start to show up with heart more and more and more. So the next time you get into your stuff, change your perspective to zoom all the way out and know that these vibrations going on inside your head, and that's exactly what they are when it comes to thinking and thoughts. They're little tiny vibrations. When you're judging yourself, when you're being your harshest critic, when you're doubting, when you're getting into your pity, you're doubting us all. And I know, being a heart-centered leader that you are, you're not okay with that. So be a little kinder, root yourself on, see yourself in a new light, hold yourself to the highest standard in how you see yourself, the highest self. And that's exactly how you show up in the world. And when you show up that way in the world, your energy ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples. But if we're so concerned about our self-importance and what I look like and poor me, the ripples only go inward, and they go hollow, and they go cold. And the world feels that. And so come to know in your heart that we are all in this together. And the next time you get into your stuff, shake your head and say, I will not do that to myself. I will not do that to others. I am here. I am now. And that's all I need to know. So walk a little lighter today. Breathe a little deeper. The air is free. Oh, got to taste it. We don't breathe enough. Care for yourself. Love yourself. Feel love inside your heart. And I promise you, others will feel that and they will lift up as well. Rising tides, high tides, rise all ships. So let's rise together. But it starts with you. It starts with us. So that's the message for today. That was coming through very strong today. So that's it for this episode. Until next time, lead with love. Go help somebody today because the world needs it. When you can change one person's life, no matter if it's yourself or anyone else, you're not just changing one person's life. You're changing this entire world because there's ripple effects happening with every thought, with every belief, with every action. So make sure you're working from a powerful place. And love for yourself, love for others, love for this world. And I promise you, you will see a profound impact in your life when you come to know that we're all in this together. Much love to you and yours. Go help somebody today. The world needs us. One small act of kindness ripples through this world, and it never stops. So let's be the light. Let's be that ripple, and let's help more people. It's up to us. So, much love to you. Until next time, let's go help somebody. Much love. Talk soon. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Adam Kadu podcast. If you would, take a moment to subscribe and click the bell icon so that way you get notified when future episodes air. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking for the show notes, you can find a link to those below. If you're looking for the handles of the guests that I've been interviewing, things of that nature, you'll find that here. And if there's anything else that stood out to you in the episode, or if there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below, or for sure message me on Instagram if you'd like. as I'm always looking to hear what's working well for you and what caught your interest about the Adam Can Do podcast. So, time to go, time to change the world, time to help more people. Are you ready? Let's go do this thing. The world needs more leaders. So thanks again for listening to the Adam Could Do podcast.